Thank you for being here. I am Renee Lindo, and you are on Your Style Matters with Renee, my LinkedIn Live every Friday afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern, right here on LinkedIn. So today we are doing something a little bit different, and I hope you enjoy it. So, a couple of things that are different. First thing is that I have a guest with me today, which is exciting. It's usually I'm the only one, so it's great to have a guest, and it's the beautiful Michelle Esteban. And I'll have Michelle introduce herself in a little
Hey.
bit. Good to have you. And then our topic is also a little bit different today. Usually I'm talking just about style and style tips and how to leverage our style in the professional space or just in life in general. But today we're talking a little bit, our topic's a little bit different, and we're talking about luxury and style and all that encompasses. And so hopefully this will be a nice change for you, and also something and also quite interesting. So let me just do a quick intro. I said I'm Renee Lindo. I'm a personal stylist, and I guide women on their style journey from confused and overwhelmed to confident. We do this by creating functional wardrobes with polished outfits that really align with their personal brand, so that they can show up better, put their hand up for more, and uh, really feel good about who they are and how they're showing up and how they're representing themselves, their brand, and their company. So that's me in a nutshell. So, Michelle, I will have you introduce yourself as well. And just everyone, before Michelle starts, just let us know where you're watching from. Is it live? Is it the replay? And where in the world are you tuning in from? We always have folks from all over, and Michelle is going to bring folks from even further afar than I usually bring folks. So I'd love to hear where you are. Whoops, where you are calling in from, seeing us from. And remember to use the chat. Any questions, any comments, drop them in the comment in the chat, and we will be sure to address them. So Michelle, over to you. Tell us who you are, what you do.
Thank you so much for having me. A pleasure. I am Michelle Esteban. I own amazing event event company, which is not just events. We provide memorable experiences worldwide. So we work with corporate, with leisure, with one person to up and up. I think the biggest one I've done so far is maybe around 2,500, 3,000.
Wow.
And we do this all over the world from incentives to birthdays to weddings and proposals, luxury shopping retreat, name it, name it. I do it. So I'm happy to be here and calling from, where am I today? I'm in Spain, Canary Islands.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. And full disclosure,
Yeah.
Michelle is a friend, and I'm a client of Michelle's. So we're going to talk a bit about how all that happened, and what we're working on. So the reason that, and I wanted to just, say the reason that I'm having this topic today is, there were a lot of lessons through of COVID, and I've talked about that on LinkedIn, and with all people, I'm sure we've talked about that as well. But one of the lessons for me in particular from COVID is to live now and to enjoy life now, and not put off and plan and skip and not do things that we really want to do and that we really would aspire to and we think about, especially as I work with my clients who are usually professional women, and even on this LinkedIn platform, we've spent such and we spend a lot of time developing our career and moving upward the ladder and achieving and reaching our goals. And so many times the things that make life worth living, the experiences that we want to enjoy, we skip, or we don't have the time for, or we don't make the time for. And so, that was a lesson from COVID for me, is to really spend time creating experiences and memories, and to do things that I want to enjoy doing. And so hence having Michelle here. So we're going to talk a little bit about, I talk about luxury. And really, what is that? What does travel look like now? Travel and style are two of the things that I love and enjoy. And I really wanted to do more of that. And I'm hoping that sharing this will also help or encourage whoever is watching to also think about out that. So Michelle, I guess one of the first things I want to understand from you, you travel all over the world and you're doing all these fabulous experiences.
Mhm.
What is travel like? No, what are you seeing? What are people doing? What are your clients wanting?
Travel, great question. Travel now is, I think it's travel on steroids. It is, I I flew from Toronto to just on Sunday night, and I showed up at the airport, which never happened before COVID. I showed up 3 hours before, and the airport was absolutely, I got through very quickly. I think a lot of people showed up way ahead of time, but the amount of on that flight from Toronto to Madrid was absolutely insanity. The flight left at around 9, and I chose that flight because it's usually there are more seats, there's more leg room and stuff like that. I tried to get, and I was okay to pay for the upgrade, and there were zero upgrades. Like, this is in business class, premium economy. It was completely sold, and so everyone is basically, and that's about an experience, right? Usually I get to the airport and there is at least left for business class, but there was zero seats left, and I said, no worries, I'll take premium economy. She said, that's been sold out for the past month. So everyone is traveling. It is traveling. I think folks that never traveled before or thought they would do it once per year, on the plane was like, I cannot wait. I've already booked to go to Venice. I've already booked to go to India. I've already booked to Vegas. And they're on this flight. It's quadrupled what it used to be. And people are paying for the experiences. So no more is traveling, even coach, a cool thing to do just because they got a cheap flight. Business class is sold out, right? So the client asking, it's like, what can I do? What can I do when we get to Madrid? What can we do when we get to New York? And I'm like, oh, you can just go to Central Park. You can do this, and we need to do Central Park like on a horse, on a this. Like, everyone wants to heighten that experience because, again, coming out of COVID, everyone's saying, like, we never know what's going to happen tomorrow, so I want to enjoy now. And so it is absolutely, from my standpoint as an event person, because for the past 2 years, nothing was happening. Now the entire days are spent going bigger and better, and everybody wants an experience.
That's exciting to hear. Scary, kind of, because if I want to go on a trip to that means that everybody is traveling as well, right? Everybody is traveling, everybody wants to do things, everybody wants to experience life. And that's really the point that I came to. You know what? There's so much world to see, so much to do, so many experiences to have. Let's do this while we still can. And so that
You've
brings
said
me,
something
sorry, go
important.
ahead.
It's like everyone is doing it. Everyone is doing it. So everyone, if I travel, it was like the first week of June, kids are still in school. Vacations are not starting to happen yet. So the flight, very leisurely, very whatever, but everyone had the same idea. There was a lot of couples on the plane without kids, and saying that they will do the vacation with the kids in July and August. They just wanted some time alone after being with the kids for 2 years nonstop. So there's not speaking with some of the hotels that I've done some site visits in the last week and a half, downtime anymore. You know, I always say, when is the best time? When are the best rates? And it used to be, you know, say April and May or whatever. They said they're not doing that anymore because people just picking up and they're leaving, they're traveling.
Yes, absolutely. You know, I titled this Luxury and Style. So, and I chose that because I know sometimes as professionals, as people, when you think of luxury, think of unattainable, something that we can't have, or it's outside of what we think we could ever afford. But luxury to me, and I'll ask you to Michelle, luxury to me is not necessarily the designer bag, the designer pieces, or these extravagant things, but it's just something nice, something special for me that I'm going to enjoy. And you know, I think of even what I try to do is to have some even day-to-day things to be luxurious. Even some of my skincare, like my eye cream. You know, I spent more money on eye cream this year than I have ever spent on eye cream. Well, yeah, I'm aging, but so so I'm investing a little bit more. But also, it just feels just the experience of, you know, putting on that eye cream and taking a few minutes just felt like a luxury that I probably wouldn't have done a few years ago, right? And even, you know, maybe investing in a nicer quality fabric for a dress or something that you would buy before. That to me is luxury as well, and it is attainable. And I think it is so important that we try to pepper these little things into our life, right? So that we're not just grinding, grinding, grinding. Your thoughts?
That's a great point. Again, it's I did an Instagram post yesterday about that, about
Mm,
experiences, because, and I did about luck, and it was triggered from someone I followed, and she was going to visit her mother in the hospital, and she said it's a very sad day because she was going to visit her mom who's suffering from Alzheimer's, and she said her mom could not remember her last week when she went, a beautiful dress that they bought her. But what her mom could remember as if it was 2 minutes ago was that amazing experience that in China. They had a beautiful
mm,
meal, and her mom was speaking about that experience and that meal over 60 years ago. And
my
so it
goodness.
triggered that to exactly why I do what I do and why I say to everyone and why I say Instagram post is that a lot of people think travel, you know, the misconception that travel is so crazy expensive. And while they're saying Gucci bag, they're getting out of a Mercedes Benz and they're going into, you know, they're going into the Prada store, and that is luxury. And then they look at me and says, "Oh my goodness, you're so lucky that you get to travel to all these places." And I give this, you know, little silence of like, I'm not sure you understanding what you're saying, because you'd rather pay for something just to be on your body instead of the experience that you'll always remember,
Always,
and you will
always
always have that
remember.
memory. And for me, that is luxury, is memorable experiences. You can never, no matter how old you are or where you are in the world, you'll forget that experience. And I think that's what more people are trying to do now. And I am getting busier because I think people are realizing that 4,000 Gucci is wrong with that. You know me, I've got a few, but there's a balance. There's a balance in
Absolutely.
luxury style and luxury experiences. And I can have, but I can be at a mom and pop store that no one has ever heard of and enjoying the best paella of my life, experiencing the people around you,
So
that
true.
that is most important.
So true. And you know, that's a good point. I took
Mhm.
my children to New York a few years ago. It was, I wanted to do New York over Christmas. But case in point, I'm not going to take my children on big trips. I've learned my lesson there. But this particular
Yeah.
situation, I had taken them to New York. I wanted to do Rockettes and skate in Bryant Park and other tourist things you do in New York. And that was at least 5, 6 years ago. and my little guy was, I don't know, maybe he was 8, and he still talks about, Mom, do you remember when we went to Chinatown? He remembered the taxi driver who took us. He remembered that we sat at this particular restaurant in Chinatown. They served family or I don't know if you call it family style, but it's a huge round tables, and you just sat with strangers, and they put a number where you are, and they would know how to serve you. And he remembered that vividly.
Yeah.
Remembered, and I was like, wow, he remembered how we had when we took this, we had to run to catch the subway and the rain, and we did. So those are so it really, it warms my heart that he remembers it, and it just really proves the point that it's about experiences, right? So thank you for that,
It's
Michelle.
everyone I speak to, it's like you can remember just even, a scent, a taste. You remember those experiences. And if you speak to anyone, it's like, hey, remember those shoes that you bought ago? They'll be like, what shoes? And
Yeah,
you're really
no,
trying so hard. The ones that you had to get, we had to go back to get those shoes. You don't really, it's like, remember the meal we had when we were in Japan in 2019? And suddenly that taste and everything
absolutely,
comes back to you. And I
absolutely.
think that's not exactly what I do when I am planning an experience. It's how does it make me feel? And if I
Yeah,
am just doing it as everybody else is doing it, then it's not worthwhile for me. I can just look at a picture and that's okay. But I have to put myself into that person's body. It's like, how would I feel walking in to this and having this,
mm-hmm.
world-renowned chef recreating a meal that they had when they were 16 years old, or creating something that they've
Lovely.
been, wanting to try, in Maui for over 20 years. And the chef that made it for their parents is their wedding, right? So those are things that I
That's
try
lovely.
to
Right.
curate, that it's going to have those experiences for them.
Lovely. So just a reminder, if you're watching the replay, put replay. If you have any questions or comments for Michelle, please drop them here as well. We want to ask her all the questions while we have her. Something else that, so of course, so I'm a stylist. So I love style. I love fashion and style, and using our style as a tool. And so those are two of the things I really enjoy, style and fashion. And so that leads me to, well, even before I get to that, I mentioned before that I'm also a client of Michelle's. And so I'm going to explain what that's about. So as I said, I really want to create more experiences and take things and strike off some things from my bucket list. And so I've always wanted to do New York Fashion Week. So I am heading to New York Fashion Week, right? And so Michelle has done a trip for me. I think, is that a big trip? No, that's one of her smaller trips. But I've also Michelle had a trip going to Italy, so I am going on that trip as well. I think that trip is closed, but so excited to be a part of the events that Michelle is creating. Oops, we lost Michelle. I'll just continue speaking until she joins again. So just to be a part of, what she's creating, the experiences that she puts together are really phenomenal and phenomenal. So I'm so looking forward to that. So we have New York coming up, and I'm offering to anyone actually in my network while I'm in New York. I'm also, if you want to come and shop with me, I'll have 2 days that I'll be having personal shopping that'll be available. So if you want more information on that, let me know. So if you live in New York or you're going to fly into New York, do that. We will connect and we'll shop together. Okay. So I don't see Michelle coming back yet. So hopefully she'll be able to join again. But I wanted to touch on what Michelle and I are working on. So we are, as I mentioned, travel and style and fashion are two things that I really, really enjoy. They're passions of mine. And so what I thought about putting together is a luxury destination shopping trip. And so, of course, Michelle is the person that I reached out to help put that together. So I'm so excited. What we have created so far, or are creating, is going to be spectacular. So I just give you a few details on the trip. All the information is on my website, letsgetdressednow.com. So the luxury destination shopping trip, first of all, it's going to be a very small number of women who want to join, just because we want to really keep it exclusive and really be able to have that one-on-one connection. So it's going to be both a blend of fashion and style, so shopping, and you'll have access to me as your stylist. We're going to work together beforehand and also while we are in this destination place. And then Michelle is going to curate a fabulous experience in the culture, doing some tours, enjoying the place, the environment, and everything that that country has to offer. So we are going to Madrid, Spain, and Lisbon. So two places that are fabulous. When you talk about shopping and fashion and style, Madrid for sure has a lot to offer. So looking forward to that. I see Michelle is here with us again. Hi, so glad you could join us.
Thank you. Thank you. It's I don't even know if I should blame it on Canary Islands Wi-Fi or my laptop, not sure. So
Yes,
apologize for
I
that.
know. No problem. I was telling them about the destination, the luxury destination trip that you are planning for us. So with the first,
Amazing.
yes, I'm so excited. So as I was saying, it's going to be a mix of a blend, not mix, a blend of fashion and style and the experiences that you create in terms of the the culture, the wines, the tours, the excursions. So Spain is, Spain, leather and shopping, fabulous. So I'm excited about Madrid for that, and I know you're going to do a fantastic job. Why did you? Why? Tell me why do you think Madrid is a great location? So Madrid and Lisbon is where we're going to be, or
Oh my God. Why not?
yes,
It is, you never forget Madrid. Madrid is not to mention that the iconic fashion brands are here, not to mention the many fashion weeks that they have, not just in Madrid, but I've been invited to at least two shows next week in Canary Islands
wow,
just for fashion week, not to mention the amount of Michelin star restaurants that they have, I believe, only second to France and Japan. The nightlife, the day life, like every single part of Madrid is electric. Um, there's
fantastic.
also it's like, Toronto, where we are. Everybody just talks about Toronto, but there's so many magical little cities that's like 20 minutes, 15 minutes
Lovely.
outside of Toronto. And it's the same with Madrid. It's just like every street, every corner that you go, it's electrifying. Similar to Portugal. We got married in Portugal. We've got zero family in Portugal. My husband's from Spain, as you know. So it's just like the neighboring country. But there is just something about Portugal where it's been voted how many times in a row the number one destination of the world. They have won so many tourism awards. And I think the great thing with Portugal is that yeah, the wine, the gastronomy, much like Madrid. It's um, it's the it's the fact that it's still one of the most affordable
Affordable. Yes,
European destinations,
yes,
and a lot of people
yes.
forget that. It's also a beautiful country to go direct into from any country. I know from Toronto it's only 6.5 hours, which is fantastic going into Europe. And the fact that everyone in Portugal, almost 98% of people speaks English as well,
Mm,
and and Spanish and German and French.
So it's very, very easy. It's easier for people who are a little bit timid into getting into the European travel. Portugal, you've got to get a little taste of Portugal. Madrid, because I'm in Madrid so often. And I have been going to Madrid for over, I would say, 10 years. And I have still not seen enough of Madrid. There's
Hmm.
always something that I am just like shocked, breathtaking about Madrid. It's the
That's
food from
lovely.
the very
I'm excited.
casual to the the super high end. I was in the restaurant of one of the top chefs at the one of the Four Seasons Madrid just a couple of days ago, and it was just like clearly it was my imagination, but even the water tasted good. You know,
Oh, I love that. Four Seasons, special Four Seasons water.
yeah, I was like, oh my god, this water is so good. And my husband looks at me, and he's like, Amor, it's
It
water.
was water.
And I'm like, maybe it's just the way they served it. Maybe it was just, it's,
I
and there's
have a friend of mine who does, you talk about that. She drinks water, anything out of a wine glass. She's like, no, this, I'm going to make this an experience. I'm going to make it because, I want to feel, that's another thing about just being luxury and just up leveling our life and how we live. Pour that water in that wine glass and you sip your water and you just feel like it's more than water, you know?
anything in a wine glass tastes more
Yeah,
than it's supposed to, you know?
yes,
And it's
exactly.
so funny. I was drinking ginger ale today, and the waiter gave it to me in a beautiful wine glass with like just lemon, orange wedges. And it was cutting
Oh.
it so beautifully. And so from a distance, so someone came up and said, I'll have what she's having. And it's like, ma'am, she's having ginger ale. He's like, they're like, what?
Yes, I know. And it's the eye, the experience
Catch
of
into the
all of
eye,
that.
but you're right. To me, it's like the breeze, it is a beautiful breeze. I am sitting in Spain and I'm having ginger ale with orange wedges. And
Yes,
it's like, for me,
lovely.
that was luxury. That was
Yes,
absolutely luxury, right?
exactly.
So
And when I
that,
think of the trip, right, and shopping with taking this special group of women and shopping, right, there's some special boutiques that I know that you are aware of, Michelle, that we're going to be able to visit. Some of them we're going to try to have private shopping where it's locked down just for us. Not
yep,
no guarantees on that, but that's definitely something that we are working on. Having special like day trips to special places, like even though we're going to Lisbon, doing a day having lunch in Porto, right? So a really elevated experience, an experience that you're going to remember, experience that is going to be really well thought out and planned. Tell us
and
about Spain. Can we do something like maybe vineyard or some type of wine tours? Things like that. Things that are so. Yes, we're going to shop, but we also want to experience the culture.
absolutely. And that is all about experiences. It's
Right.
I tell you the story all the time that how I travel, how my husband and I travel, is that we literally do not have an agenda. We have an agenda for the first night because we know we're going to be a little bit jet lagged coming in from Eastern time zone. And then the next is literally just getting into a car and we just drive. We look at the map, we're like, oh, we haven't been to this town or we haven't been to that town. And that's how I try to plan some of these experiences, is that some of the locals that we've met along the way, they're so much more knowledgeable because they're going to take you to that spot where it's not going to be on Instagram. So it's funny when I go into a restaurant in Spain and I'll say, do you have Instagram? And the folks look at me like, what?
What is
And
that?
I love that in the sense that you can only find these places just because a local has told you about
Told
these
you.
places. They have
Hmm.
no Wi-Fi. They've got zero Instagram. They're not on any social media, but there's a lineup to get in there, or they'll open the doors, a little bit longer for you because you're enjoying the meal so much. So
Right.
the
Right.
shopping experiences and the dining experiences are going to be exactly like that. It's just the fact that if I say, oh, look this up on the internet, you're not going to find it because it's like, no, it's literally just word of mouth. And the
Hmm.
person who's giving you the bill is the person that's cleaning the dishes and stuff like that. But
Yeah. Yeah.
they are stunning, stunning places. And those
That's
experiences, when you
lovely.
show the pictures, people are going to say, I'm sorry, where is that? And you
Yeah,
cannot explain.
yeah. And
So for sure.
having I love that. I love having a photographer and videographer around with us, so that as you're experiencing the trip, as we do the shopping, as you're trying on, as you're doing your wine tour, as you're doing your whatever other things we have planned, it's being captured, and you'll have beautiful pictures. There are photographers there. Any travel day trips, just maybe a private car, so really an elevated experience that is. I'm beside myself. I'm actually going to be traveling to Madrid at the end of July to just see all of the things that Michelle is planning, ensure that I eat the food. I trust Michelle, but I need to really make sure for myself.
You need to
I
come
just
through
need.
it. Yeah, it's
So I'm
it's
going to, just I want to experience everything that my attendees are going to experience, and to really be able to say, yes, this is a luxury experience that these special ladies will enjoy.
what I like about always having a photographer or videographer on the trips is that people really get to enjoy the experience. And when they're looking back at the pictures that's been captured of them, it's not like I need you to stand and pose and look like this. It's
Right.
just that they're capturing the moments, because we're constantly living on our phones and like, oh,
Yeah.
let me photograph. But they're now seeing moments from, somebody else's point of view, that they can see how beautiful
Yeah.
experiences are without living through our phones all the time, right?
And
So
when you have the phone, you're trying to take a picture, that you're not really
no,
experiencing that, because it's happened so
no.
many times. You're taking a picture and you actually miss so much because you're focused on taking the picture. So,
And
but yes,
that's
we
our lives.
talk.
That's our lives right now. It's like we live through a phone. And I just remember a waiter saying to me, or a chef saying to me, he's just like, I see my plate being taken away. And I said, oh, did you give me the wrong meal? And he says, no, you're no longer going to enjoy your meal because it's now cold. And
Mm,
it's better enjoyed, warm. And this
oh
is now
my.
cold. The amount, and I was like,
Yeah.
of course, embarrassed, because it's like this person is watching me doing this, but he's right in the sense that the
Yeah.
food comes and we're like, and then we have a
Yeah.
conversation or we send something on our phone and we forgot that the meal is there to be eaten, right?
Right.
So this is
Exactly.
this is nice to have these moments captured. The
Mm,
boutiques and stuff that you mentioned also. Again, I found so many beautiful, beautiful boutiques that they're not online. No, they do not deliver. No, they do not, have a 45-day return policy, because it's like
mhm.
one is just the one
Yeah.
that they've made, or it's just the two
Yeah.
that they've made. And it's just a little boutique off of Main Street, off a side street, that, I've just taken down a phone number and just like, do you mind if I call you to see what new items that you've
Right.
brought in, right?
Yeah.
So those, of
And
course, along with the big stores, we have the smaller
yeah.
ones too.
Sure. And I love the idea, right, in Spain, right? Leather, being able to have custom leather gifts made for yourself, right? Custom leather, anything is so luxurious, right?
Yeah, you
And
have a hard
absolutely
time buying
beautiful.
leather again in North America after you
I'm
finish.
sure. Yes, I'm
After you've
sure.
done your, exactly.
We could talk about this trip forever. So I won't belabor, but I just wanted to share with my with my with my community and yours as well, just what we have planned, why it is so important for us to think about, living luxuriously. Think about spending some time and money on ourselves, and doing things that we have always wanted to do, and investing now in creating those experiences, those memories for yourselves, for your family, what have you. Michelle, you have, I think, what do you have? You have a Italy trip. I think if we had said that that's booked out. So I'm
Mhm.
excited I got to be a part of that. I'm looking forward to Italy again. So I told you guys I
Right.
am
Mhm.
traveling this year.
Mhm.
Italy, we're
Italy is
doing
good.
New
Italy is
York,
good.
I'm doing Spain as well. So And I mentioned about New York. If you want to shop with me in New York, send me a DM. I'm taking a couple of 2 days of a few spots that we can do some personal shopping. And just in terms, one other point on the destination shopping trip. So yes, you will, all of the stuff Michelle is curating will be there, but also you have time with me. So we're gonna meet together beforehand. I'll get an idea of, we'll do a whole style consultation, right? Some of you will do your closet edit, figure out kind of what do you need, what do you want, so that when we go to Spain, then I have an idea of, okay, what am I going to help you to shop for? What can help, what great piece, what piece would look fabulous if we include that in your wardrobe? What kind of shoes should we be looking for? So you'll be shopping with your personal styles, which I think is fun too.
Pretty badass. Can I say
Yeah,
that on my
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah, I think so. Well,
I've
good.
been dying to shop with you for 2 years, so maybe this is my opportunity.
You what? Say that again?
I've been trying to shop with you for 2 years, but your calendar is
Oh,
booked. So maybe this is my opportunity to just kind of like
awesome.
sneak stuff
Yes.
in.
Looking forward, looking forward. Michelle and I have very similar tastes. And when she posts something in social, I'm like, oh, I have that, or and vice versa. So Michelle, how can my community connect with you? If they have any questions, if they also want to schedule a trip, a group, if they're corporate, how can folks reach you?
They can reach me through my LinkedIn here, or I'm on Instagram on the occasion by me, or Michelle styled by me. Styled by me. I don't even know my own handle. Just look up Michelle Esteban. It's very, very bad. Um, but
On
reach
LinkedIn. So
me through
LinkedIn, Michelle
LinkedIn
Esteban.
is best. But yeah, this is the time. I literally this morning have been on calls. Just a lot of companies, a lot of groups, a lot of old friends reaching out and say, okay, we want to celebrate my big birthday. We want to just do a ladies' retreat. My daughter's getting married, or I'm getting married, or corporations just kind of say, we haven't done anything. We cannot keep sending gift cards to people. What do we have? Yeah,
Yeah.
that $10 Starbucks gift card is great, but they need to do a little bit more
Award
for
trips, right? I'm sure that you've
award
done
trips.
award
So
trips.
that's the one that is getting a lot. Awards trips and holiday trips are holiday parties are getting a lot of attention right now. So anyone that is not going to be on the trip with Renee, but you should, because I'm excited every time I go and look at another venue, or trying to decide, do we lock down Four Seasons 100%, or do we lock down the Hyatt? There's so many beautiful, beautiful options, but we
And
want to
even
make sure.
some boutique hotels are also so
No, the
fabulous,
boutique
right?
hotels. I'm more of a, when you get into Europe, the boutique hotels is what has my heart, because I find that as much as the chain hotels are fantastic, I think that the boutique hotel, they know you by name from the first night. They have your profile. They're just fantastic, and the history that's into these hotels as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Super, super excited and glad to be working with you to curate this trip.
Thank you. Thank you. So I have information on my website. It's letsgetdressednow.com. So check my website. You can always send me a DM here on LinkedIn. My email is Renee at letsgetdressednow.com. And I'd love to hear from you if you have follow-up questions, if there's anything at all, if there's a style question, a question about the trip that we are so excited about, please send it through. We'd love to hear. Any parting words, Michelle? I think that's it. We're over, yeah, it's 39, so.
No, it's again, I'm in Spain right now, curating some final details, just waiting for the ladies to enjoy a lot.
Oh, I forgot to tell the date. It's in so this trip that we've been talking about, this fabulous.
You're so excited. You're so
I am
excited.
so excited about this trip. Is October 30th to November 10th. November 10th, if you're going to come with us to Lisbon, and if you're just going to do Madrid, it's October 30th to November 7th. So there's an option for Lisbon and Porto, which is fabulous. So that's the date. Those are the dates. The information is on the website, or you send me a DM. We'd love to have you. But as I said, our numbers are going to be small. So please, if you're interested and you have any questions, let me know. Yes, that's it. Thank you everyone for joining. I don't see any questions or any comments. So I know they may come in after. And if you are watching the replay, let us know as well. Michelle, thank you so much for joining. It was great to have you.
Thank you.
Always good to see you.
Always great to see you.
Yes.
It's going to be an amazing trip, guys. It's going to be, Renée is just how she is with her style, her attention to detail on, you know, when I present something, how about this? How about this? It's going to be
That's Michelle's code
amazing.
for she's annoying me, but
absolutely not. No, she's on my toes because you want it to be perfect, and it's going to be perfect.
I want it to be spectacular, right? It's everything that I would want, of course, and more, right? That I want to have my community enjoy as well.
Amazing.
Thanks
for having me.
Michelle. Take care.
Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.